Hi and welcome to another video. What we're going to be making today is what's called the coin slots, which are the buttons that actually go here. We need 6 of them, and they're going to go on the front here. They're going to be quite intricate to make, so hopefully I don't stuff it up for you guys, but we'll see how we go. Alright, the first thing you want to do is you're going to want some 18mm MDF. It's got a split in it, so I'm going to cut it back a bit further, and this is just an off cut I've had, but you want 18mm MDF. And you want to cut it in 9mm slits, okay, just with a drop saw or a jigsaw if you've got one, because the width of the buttons are 9mm, okay. You'll need 6. Once you've cut them all 9mm wide, cut them all 33mm long, so it's 9 by 33 by the 18mm, which is the depth of the thing. Now what we're going to try and do is cut the slots in the top. These things have a slot. Get the slots right, then we'll shape the rest and we'll be good. If we stuff up the slots, we'll have to try again a different way. Right, now since we're making these slots here, we're going to need to mark in. We're going to go 8mm and 8mm in from each end. And then we're going to mark a line in the middle. This is going to be tricky. I don't even know if it's going to work. This piece here is actually like it's a bit that comes with the Dremel. I'll try and get a close-up look of it in a minute, but basically what you want to do is you want to set the depth so it goes to just past the thickness of that into the wood, and then you want to set up like a slide thing here so you can push it into the drill basically down into the wood and then push it along till it gets to the other end of the slot. So you basically want to cut a slot into the top of the timber. So as I said, I don't know if it's going to work, but you know, got to give it a try. Not bad, if you can see that very well, but it's a pretty good slot. I think I can make that one work. So basically, we're going to get the slot, and then we're going to chamfer everywhere. But you want to do the slot first, just in case it doesn't work. You don't do all the other work and find out it's going to fall apart. So there's 6 to go. The bit looks like this. It's basically flat on the bottom with spiral cuts in it. Do a test on a couple of scrap bits before you actually use it on the piece you want to use. So how you cut the slot is this. Bring that all the way down. You go all the way down into there like that till it hits the bottom. And then you bring it up till it's just on the edge and you slide it along to get to the other mark. And you go back, go down a bit more to get to the other mark, then go back, a bit more to get to the other mark, back, a bit more to get to the other mark. Keep going until you've actually shaved it all at the same level, like that. You see that? When you're finished, you end up with a nice slot, which is really cool. And apart from one or two being a little bit wonky, I have to fix with sandpaper. They came up really nice. Okay, after you've made your 6 buttons, line them up as evenly as you possibly can. What I want you to do is I want you to draw a line between the edge of the slot and the outside, all the way along down there, and the edge of the slot and the outside all the way along down there. So you basically want to have a line around about there somewhere. Go all the way down there, all the way down there. That means you're marking all 6 at once. And then I want you to draw a line halfway between the outside and the slot across each piece as well. So it looks something like this. Then we want to turn it around here like this. And you want to come down from the top 5mm all the way around. I'm going to draw a line like this. We're going to chamfer with a sander. We're going to chamfer to the top line and the bottom line across like that, make it into almost like a 45. And then we're going to do the other side, and then we'll do the ends. You want to have nice sharp corners when you do it. And once you've done it, you can use a device. I'll just zoom that out for you, like this, with a sanding disc on it. It's quite rough, and you basically just hold it there and just go across backwards and forwards like that. You want to go too far because you don't want to cut into that slot. So you only want to go a little bit of chamfer on the sides, a bit more of a chamfer on the ends. If you don't want to use this, use a Dremel with a sanding pad on it. Otherwise you can use a file and just file it. But take your time because you don't have to do all these 6 again. Okay, this is what it looks like. You see it's chamfered this way and it's chamfered this way. And to be totally honest, I did the sides, which are very small chamfer. I did with the trim and one of those on the end. For the ends, see I burnt it a little bit, but it's going to be covered in putty anyway. In the ends I used this because I could get a bit more control, and there's a lot more meat to take off. So you do all 6 like that, and then your buttons, the building of them are done. Then we're going to mount them and work them into the body. Alright, so what I've done now is I've cut these slots all the way through. Before they were just cutting to the top skin, I've actually cut them through the bottom skin, then I filed them all up. Made a bit of a boo-boo here, but otherwise they're pretty neat. What you want to do next is you want to cut a piece of wood to go on the back. This is what it looks like now. I'll explain how I got that. So this bit of wood here is 115 millimeters by 35 millimeters, okay? And what I did is I put this one here through that hole and just rest it so that the start of the 45, the chamfer, is resting on the outside of the hole. And I put the bottom one on this side and I push that in as well. And they were kind of in there quite tight, so I just pushed them through. And then what I did is I stood the barrel up, and I put glue on the back of this one and this one, and I stuck the bit of wood on there with a bit of tape. And when it dried, you could take it out and you could see that there was just a piece here and a piece here. That way I could slide it, I put some nails in it then after that just to give it a bit of strength, like that, little small nails. And then I pushed it back in, positioned it where I wanted to, and then I just pushed the other pieces through the holes with the glue on the bottom. So these ones are only glued at the moment. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put nails in there as well to give them a bit extra strength. And once that's done, that's your piece. Make sure you mark your top when you finish so you know which bit is your top, which is here for instance. So when you go back in later on you know where to put it. But this will keep them in line this way. If you do it any other way you're going to have it going up and down all over the place. And they look quite good when they're in. See, like that. Now they stick out just from the edge of the chamfer up. That's how you want to do it, just like that. Alright, and of course once you've painted them we'll put them back in, maybe file this side a bit more so that they go in a bit easier, and then just glue them in from the back. What we're going to do now, after you've done that piece, we're going to do spray putty on them so we can sand them back and give them a coat of paint. Now if you find when you hit it with spray putty or paint that it just soaks in on the sides and doesn't actually fill the gaps like mine did, I decided to sand off the putty that I'd sprayed on and paint it with PVA glue, which is just this glue here. It's just craft glue. It's that white glue you see you glue timber with. It's pretty good stuff. So I just paint over top of that with PVA glue. When it dries, I get a light sand, fine sandpaper, and hit it with primer again. Then we should get a nice coat of paint because it'll stop the paint soaking into the wood. Once you've got it to this stage, you're going to sand this. So basically it's got primer in it, it's sealed. Okay, you're going to sand this with 240 grit sandpaper, and then we're going to hit this with a coat of blue paint. Now, you're only really concerned about the top, the sides, and the beveled edge just here and here. Everything else will be hidden away, you won't see it. So, but yeah, obviously give it a good coat of paint everywhere so you don't miss anything, but that's what we're going for. At the moment it's looking pretty good. Now the paint we're going to use is called, it's a Duramax paint called Passionate Blue. It's the closest I could get without having to mix a whole bunch of colours together to get the right blue for R2. It's pretty close, but you can choose which way you want to go with that colouring. If you don't like this colour, then you can jump online and find another way of painting it, but this is what I'm using. You want to paint the whole thing blue, and then we're going to paint just the tops silver after that, and then that'll be finished. Now once you have made your coin slots and you've painted them blue, we need to paint just the tops silver. So I've used some painter's tape to mask that up. But rather than spray it, because I want inside of the slots to stay blue, I'm going to use a paintbrush. So I'm going to spray some into the lid of the spray can and just brush it across the top.